Hi there, everyone. My name is Cheyenne Severin, as always, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Speaks. Today I'm here with.
Hi, everybody. I'm Glynis Burke, part of Alumni in Recovery and part of the Black Poster Project. How are you guys?
So, Glynis, why don't you tell me how you got involved in Alumni in Recovery and the Black Poster Project in the first place?
Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys can see right there, but way in the background is a picture of my son, Patrick, who we lost on May 19th, 2019. Patrick was in recovery, living in a sober house, accidental overdose, fentanyl, like 90% of today. And this was from Alumni in Recovery, actually. And I stumbled on a lot of things in a very close proximity of time. You know, like right after Patrick passed, I was just like, oh my God, what can I do about this? What are we going to do? This is just, to walk in those shoes is just horrible, as we know. But my thought was, how do you put purpose to this? Before Patrick passed, he was on a mission as well, and he wanted to help others and tell others in the high school format, go on like a tough love or a one-on-one kind of thing with the kids face to face, like don't do this, and have a very candid talk with them. But unfortunately, he was taken before that was able to come to fruition. And I'll just show you, this is pretty funny because I have a picture here. This is a picture of Patrick. I'll just hold it up for a second. But this night, and this is like probably, maybe a month and a half before he passed. But he was taking the bus home from the city that night, and he went to the New York Public Library and met a couple of guys from Northern Valley that were making a film about, the heroin situation in Northern Valley, in this valley, and the extent of it, because it is pretty extensive, as many of us know. And then he went up to the high school on his own, and he had told me about this, and I want to do something so that others don't have to live this way with these struggles. So that's like a little bit of the groundwork. And then of course we lose him. And, the next thing was, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And I had I attended Families Anonymous for many years, which I am a big proponent of. It's a great organization. There were a lot of changes with COVID and people going virtual and stuff. So that was a drag, but we struggled through it. I mean, I stayed involved after Patrick passed in 2019. But anyway, I was with, when he was alive, like 10 years, in Families Anonymous, and there was a lot of support. So that was one program group that I was involved with, in Al-Anon, Nar-Anon, even AA, open meetings, speaker groups. And then he passes, and one of my friends, one of the gals I know from FA, she lost her son, less than a year before. And I immediately called her, and she gave me a list of resources, and I went on seeking those out. So from there, I stumbled into a Hope and Healing meeting, which was up in Allendale, and a gal that a lot of us know because she started this group in 2015, I think. Gail is her name. And Gail started this group called Hope and Healing for those who lost a loved one through addiction or substance use disorder, or somehow related to that. Anyway, but I'll just do a little PR work right now, and you can get me back on track if I forget, because I'm very good at losing track or sidestepping. But anyway, for anybody who's out there this meeting has started up again, and we are hope and healing, surviving from the loss for a family member or friend or spouse or whatever, surviving this insidious situation and disease. But we meet the second Wednesday of every month, rain or shine, at 777 Wyckoff Avenue at the Lutheran Advent Church in Wyckoff. And it's a very, very good group. Gail kind of retired from it after 5 years, and a couple of us picked it up and got it going again. So anyway, now I'll jump back to the story. So I found out about this meeting. I stumbled there, and it was very emotional. And I met some people, and I listened, and I cried, as everybody does. It's very overwhelming. And then I heard about AinR, and I was like, what the hell is AinR? And I'll look it up online. I'm just like, well, and I'm like, AinR, how do you spell it? What is this? Like, extrapolate on it a little bit. Anyway, I joined that. I met Nancy somewhere. I can't remember exactly where, if it was at a Hope and Healing where she showed up to recruit. I don't remember, because a lot of it is a blur. But anyway, I stumbled to the first Walk to Remember, and that was November 8th, I want to say. No, November 3rd, maybe. Doesn't matter. But that year that he passed, and the energy that was there, and the Black Poster Project was there. And just, there were like significant elements that struck me that day. And I was just like, this is where I need to be. This is definitely puts pain to purpose, loss to purpose, and that kind of thing. So, at that point, I saw these posters, and actually Patrick was in the poster. So I think I heard when I was seeking out the resources, somebody said, oh, there's this thing, you can send a picture to this person, and she'll do a poster for you, and you can put Patrick in the project. And I didn't know anything about it, but I immediately, I reached out to everybody. So like, I don't have grass under my feet. So I sent her an email, and I was distraught because it was Labor Day. And I think the first thing they were doing was up in Piermont. So I was away that weekend, and I was beside myself because I couldn't have him in that little display, whatever it was, but even though I didn't know much about it. So I went away, I came home, and I was like sick to my stomach. I'm like an overreactor, sick to my stomach because I could not have him there. And so I wrote an email, and I said, and this is what I do, like emails and texts, like very long-winded. So I sent an email, and I said, hey, I am so upset. I am so sorry that I couldn't have Patrick in this thing. And of course, I'm emailing Dee, who I did not know at the time. Mm-hmm. Now we're very good friends. But, and she sent back a lovely note and said, send me a picture. I'll do his picture. I'll put it. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And so then the next thing was I sent a couple of pictures. And the next big thing is like these minuscule decisions in life become monumental. And it was like days before I could make a decision of like which picture to use, what to do and whatnot. So anyway, that's how he ended up in the project. And then I showed up. I can't, it's all such a blur because, it's part of my essence now. And, I just went, I said, let me help out and I'll do this. And, I come from a field in my work field of teamwork. We're a bunch of people that come together and do things and expedite. So this was very easy for me to jump in and lend a hand and push things around and move things. And so, I felt I could at least be useful in some way. And then, we grew, it was 50 posters. We had one yesterday in Hunterdon and Somerset County in Jersey, right? And out in West Jersey. And there was one a couple of weeks ago in Asbury. And between that time, that span of 2 weeks, there was an addition of, I want to say, like 38 posters, 2 weeks. So we are up to, 663 or 668 and bursting at the seams, so there's, an energy that for those that lost. I mean, some people are comfortable with it. Some people aren't, but, when you set these posters up, there's an energy that surrounds it, that's there. And, you can feel it. It's just intense. And, my favorite, displays are, in the churches because, there's surround sound, we have a whole speaker system with a specific score that actually several scores, we rotate out different musical scores and they all hit a chord and mean something, different to somebody else. But, I think that it is, helpful. It's healing for those that participate in it. It's healing. It's raising awareness. It's helping, hopefully, to end stigma. I mean, we have, like Dee has visions. I have visions of where this thing needs to go and how it needs to grow and how it needs to explode for action to make a difference with, the fentanyl situation, which we know is off the charts. Yesterday I was, looking, I do, for each one, I do a video and it's on the website. I think it's on AinR's too, but it's like a say the name and I go through every name and just kind of like impromptu chit chat a little bit. And, 660 something posters, you can't bang it out in 5 minutes. This, like yesterday, I didn't do the last names, but I, stop on everybody. So I was just like, well, let's see how much time that's going to take and how it works. Because, a lot of people watch from afar that can't be there. And, I do it, for me, I do it for me. I do it for us. I do it for those that I just think it needs to be done. It needs to be said. And, there's those folks that, have their loved ones in the project. It's special to them to see their loved one on the screen, even if it's, they can freeze frame, even if it's there for, a millisecond. But that's that. Did I answer the question?
I think you more than answered it. As you were talking, I tried to show some photos of the project. I had a Google slide I was going to use, so I'd pull that up on the side. Hopefully the viewers can see it. We'll see after this. First time I'm trying something like this.
Right. Well, I would tell everybody, I have them on my phone here. I wish I could send them out to you. Because yesterday what blew my mind was, you see the new posters. Dee does all the work with them herself, in a lovingly time managed, slow, conscientious way. So at the setups, there's always a new one. Oh, and so yesterday I went around after the video and I was looking at some of the newer kids. I mean, there's a couple of 15-year-olds and a 16-year-old. And, there's a lot of, it's got to be like 90%. And don't quote me, but, so many of them are fentanyl, fentanyl poisoning, fentanyl murder, fentanyl this, fentanyl that, accidental, blah, blah. So I a few pictures of these, there's a story at the top of each poster and, just a poignant something that comes from the heart of the family. It comes from all different directions and different styles and poems or, very gritty comments or, it's just the emotions range is all I can say. So I actually am going to post that later. I didn't get a chance to do it, but just an update of this is what we're looking at today, a snapshot of yesterday and the losses. And, it's pretty incredible. And, I think that it's making a difference, for folks, but we wanted to make a bigger difference and we want to have a bigger voice and we want to be seen by everyone. So if anybody out there has a connection for Anderson Cooper, please let me know because that's where we're going and we want a town hall. And, that's part of it. I started a GoFundMe for a van, which we're saving for, because every project, every full project like this, we need to rent 2 full-size vans and it's a schlep and a full load. And these things, as you can imagine, this project is a labor of love. Like it takes on a personal level, for everyone. And it's not like it is so professional and tight and clean. There's no loose edges. And so there's a lot of out-of-pocket expense. No expense is spared for this. So, reluctantly, we had to push forward. So that's the goal. We're saving for that and we'll get there. To take this further and wider, a wider berth for it. And that it'll happen. It's just we're anxious to get there. We're anxious for exposure. And, it's like the pieces of the puzzle, move around and float. And then, one links in and another links in. And it's like, it's ever moving. So, yeah.
So you guys are, I'm sorry, continue.
No, I wasn't saying anything. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, so you guys are doing, another event soon, right? For Overdose Awareness Day? Yeah.
So, this one should be spectacular. So this is backwards for everybody, but please check out the website. We will be at the Cathedral Basilica of the Sacred Heart, 89 Ridge Street in Newark, which is right off of the turnpike, like exit 15 and then off of 278 or whatever the heck it is. But it's Thursday from 4 to 8, and we will be setting up, for 4 or 5 hours prior to that. Mm-hmm. We always welcome volunteers. And then we'll be wrapping at 8 o'clock. But this is National Overdose Awareness Day. And I know that there's probably going to be a lot of events going on. But this, the last time I was at this church actually was for Patrick's, one of his, stepping up. I think he was a Cub Scout going to be a Boy Scout, and it was the transition. And they did their badge. One of the badges was at the cathedral that they had to complete. So, it's a beautiful place and the music in there will be great. And, there'll be a little blessing from Father there. And, this is something that happened, on its own. The priest that I know personally from Harrington Park, Father Wojciech, and, Dee's priest from Sacred Heart, who was a big supporter of this, helped to make that happen. They were strategic in facilitating. So please come and see us Thursday. It will be great. Well, we'll be in the fall, just so you know, we'll be back in the schools on a smaller scale, but it's my hope that this fall, we don't have a date on the calendar, but I definitely want to be back in Astoria at my Union Hall, on Steinway Street, which was a pretty spectacular, it's a nice venue and it's beautiful and it fits the posters like perfectly. So we do want to go back there, but we want the town hall with it. So we have to tie some pieces together for that to happen, but it'll happen when it's meant to happen. But, on the calendar, this is our big event, and, there'll be other stuff. You have to follow it and look for changes and whatnot, but this would be one not to miss.
Thank you, Glynis.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, we're out of time for today. So do you have any last comments?
Oh,
yeah. It goes fast.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you have any last comments, questions, or concerns before we end off today?
Peace, love, recovery. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Spread the word. Share this everywhere, please. Put it up there. Post it. That's it. Pebble by pebble, one by one will make a difference.
Thank you, Glynis. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.